I'm here sharing my experiences as an innovator, but also informing a group of young innovators here about their future in this country when we finally launch the venture capital market that is tailor-made for them under the name of the Rwanda Innovation Fund. So what I shared with them was a number of things, including explaining the journey they will expect to go through and the kind of funding they will need. At this stage, they are at startup companies, but then we need them to grow. They want to grow. The question is, how do they find money? How do they get access to money that will enable them to grow? Now, in Rwanda, the government and the private sector federation have worked very, very hard to try and to establish a market that goes from a time when a company is still a startup all the way to a grown-up company that is going public. There are two parts to it. The startup part is where government does try, and you can see some of the things like kLab here where we are. It supports people, innovators wanting to develop companies in the technology space, in the ICT sector. But ultimately, the journey is that we help them at the beginning, and eventually they find an angel investor who buys shares in their company. The next point is for them to start tackling the market, delivering products to the market. That requires money. In Rwanda, and we're doing this as perhaps the first nation on the continent to establish a venture capital market for technology companies who have graduated from the investments they get from angel investors, graduating into now needing more money to expand into the local market and into regional markets. We call that growth venture capital. This fund, which is really the beginning of a market, a financial market for technology companies, will take a portfolio of companies and stay with them until they either go public or until a private venture capital fund buys the Rwanda Innovation Fund out.